Hi everyone, Wendy Anderson, justbe.me. Thank you for joining me on this early Sunday morning. So what I wanted to talk about in this video was there's been lots of interesting energies coming in over the last couple of days that probably for many will allow us to review certain partnership contracts with loved ones. So this one is about love versus lust contracts. It's about fear contracts versus love contracts. So because the whole planet's energy is changing, then it kind of stands to reason that we are changing within ourselves as well. Many of us are doing a lot of healing work within ourselves. So this is also going to have an impact on your nearest and dearest as well. So relationships normally form when we need to heal something within ourselves, so the other person has exactly what it is that we need to heal. So you have this magnetism that kind of like brings you together. However, if you think about it, if one or both of you are healing those heart spaces, then that magnetism is no longer going to be kind of really kind of like sticking you both together like glue. So then many people are finding themselves in this kind of like, it's a different energy with which they are in the relationship of. So it's kind of like then they're in kind of like a no man's land. So you've got the choice then. So you've actually loved each other whole and you've loved yourself whole. So that's the difference in the relationship. There's no magnetism or glue holding you together anymore. So when that glue is gone, it's kind of like, well, what do we do now? And it may be that one party has just loved themselves whole and the other one is still on the journey of still trying to find their worth and still trying to love themselves in their entirety. So then that person will try and cling to the other person because the other person is providing their love that they need for survival, really. We are all energetic beings made from love. So we need love to survive. So they will try to obtain their love from their partner because they're just in a little bit of a lacking heart space. So they will be feeling really down about themselves, lacking in self-worth, lacking in self-love, and they're using the other individual to obtain it. So you've got two choices. If you are in your full sovereignty and knowing, and you know that in any given moment that you can regenerate love all the time. So think of it as a flower garden. You know, anyone can come in and take a flower. You'll get people coming in and trying to take armfuls. You know, whoa, wait a minute. But if you are cultivating your garden all the time, your flower garden, you are creating new ones all the time. You are creating love all the time. And how we do this as human beings practically is know your worth. And you will do practical things as well that will just make you feel good, will make you feel happy, and will make you feel in love with yourself. So it may be a little bit of exercise that will make you feel happy afterwards. It may be going for a nice soak in the bath. It may be going for a nice walk, meeting up with nice friends, anything that kind of like makes you feel joyful, happy, love and loved. Then you are cultivating your garden all the time. However, this can be quite difficult for the man as well at the moment. So it's kind of like there is a real rise in feminine energy. So this is going to be, you know, so any woman that is using this rise in female energy to kind of like rise above, you know, it's kind of like, do you know what? I've been oppressed by men for absolutely centuries. You know, there were places I couldn't go into market squares or in places of public without a chaperone, in kind of like in sometimes, and the DNA remembers all these times as well. There would be certain places where you weren't allowed to go because of your menses. You would have been deemed unclean by men. So you know, there is a lot of history, people here, and this is all contained within our DNA. So at the moment we are bringing things up to the surface to allow to look at it, look at all these old programs that some of us may actually still be carrying, and you get the choice: do I want to carry it? Do I want to still keep it with me, or do I want to forgive and let it go? That is a powerful energy, to forgive and let go, because then you can walk forward into another timeline where you are your unbroken self. That's where all healing and miracles happen. You have an unbroken self before traumas happened, before oppression happened, before all these programs came in. A lot of the programs as well, when you do look back in historical events, kind of like were around religious, were around religion, unfortunately. And there's nothing wrong with religion, there's nothing wrong with faith. But some of these programs did evolve around these certain cultures and religion. There's no getting around that, I'm afraid. But to move forward, you know, we can make new contracts with our nearest and dearest, with our loved one, and basically say, you know what, I'm not going to allow you to use me for your love anymore. You have to regenerate for yourself now and stand on your own 2 feet. If you are working, you know, 32 hours a day, then, you know, you've got to say, who's this for? Why are you doing it? What idol are you honouring? It's certainly not yourself in that situation, because you're working yourself to the bone and into an early grave. For what? To keep up with the Joneses. And I'm sorry, kind of like speaking these truths, but they are cold hard truths, I'm afraid, that all of humanity are bringing up to the surface to look at all of these programs. And part of this belief system as well, you beautiful men out there, is that part of the marriage contract, which was created in fear, marriage was created in fear, was that men were to provide for the woman. Because there were times, obviously, when women weren't deemed as allowed to work or earn their own capital, that we were deemed only good enough for basically cooking and looking after children. And again, this is kind of like carried in female DNA as well. There is a remembrance of it, and it's all going to come up. So if your missus is getting a little bit feisty at the moment with you, then honour she's having remembrances of past lives, past experiences. She won't know that potentially these emotions are coming from these circumstances, but everything at the moment, all karma and all past lives are coming up to the surface in order for us to actually feel those emotions again and then decide what we want to do with them. Again, forgiveness is and love is the highest frequency there is to get back to your unbroken self. Hatred and fear, you're just kind of going to stay stuck in those programs. So, honour your partner, love your partner or spouse. You have the decision right now to rewrite your contracts, everybody. And you can rewrite it in love and decide, you know what, I'm a sovereign being. Let's try to work on matching our frequencies in love. If you think your partner is just, it's too much for you to bear, then you can live a solitary life too, and go serve. Some people may think, do you know what, if I'm in service, I can't have the responsibility of that either. It's doing what's right for you as a person. You can do both. You know, if you want both, then you can have both. It's what is right for you as an individual, and it's your discernment that counts here. It's your truth as to what you actually really want. You can choose a path of love and say, do you know what, I forgive all men for the way that I was treated. I am not going to use this rising feminine energy to actually oppress my man and do what they did to us, because the two rights don't make a wrong. So it's kind of like, if you use your energy, use it to stand equally next to each other. And as a woman at the moment, you will be potentially feeling, those that are really sensitive to the energies around at the moment, you will be feeling kind of like, I'm not going to take any crap off anyone. And you know what, this body is my temple. And you know what, if you don't honour my divinity, and if you do not honour me, then you do not enter my temple, if you know what I'm talking about. If you put out because you're in fear of losing a loved one, then you may get polyps and cysts kind of like on the cervix, ladies. So please give your vagina a choice. But also as well, it's a symbol of, you know, if you loved yourself enough, then you would be able to say, do you know what, I'm not for that tonight. You're not in the right energy, I'm not in the right energy. And that should be accepted. And that means that if you can accept that, then you are in full heart space for yourself as well, and you love yourself. If you are not quite there yet, then do you know what? Use that energy to come away and do some nice things for yourself. Have a nice soak in the bath. Spend your time doing something that makes you feel happy, joyous and loved for yourself. You create love for yourself before you can create it for another human being. So again, men and women, you know, there are things that you can do to match your vibrations in your coupling. So just look at the programs of where one of you could be an unfulfilled heart. So this kind of like comes to the story of the White Bull Lady. So she was a celestial being, came down to earth, and this is a story told by Native American Indians that they've passed down to their loved ones, their families. And the White Bull Lady, she was approached by two men. The first man had a fulfilled heart, recognised she was a celestial being, and showed the lady much respect. The second man, however, didn't have a fulfilled heart. He'd had a broken heart by another woman. He didn't know his worth. He wasn't in full loving of himself. So he tried to lust after the White Bull Lady. Well, she turned him to dust. So all you lovely, lovely men out there, you know, we respect men and women as equals. We are not equal in kind of like how we think, how we behave, or how our bodies are built. We are not equals. We have different attributes, different qualities and different values. But both should be honoured for their differences, which is kind of like about the state of what's going on in the world. You know, all differences should be honoured and respected. We are not all the same because we are all having different life experiences. And neither one or the other is right or wrong. It's just different experiences. So when we kind of like cast the finger of judgment, which is obviously related to organs and body parts as well, those organs and body parts are going to be affected. So kidneys, creation centres are going to be affected. You are not going to be in alignment in the body. So our behaviours and actions do have a reflection on the alignment going on with our body as well. So just look at your belief systems. Am I in my full knowing? Am I in my full self-worth? Am I in my heart space, in the path of love, not fear? And am I regenerating the love for myself all the time? Am I in receiving mode of love all the time, and not just giving? So don't kind of like just give everything away and kind of like leave yourself as an empty chalice. So you are the Holy Grail. Every single one of you is a Holy Grail. You are so valuable. You are so precious. You are so full of worth. Please recognise that. Please hold it in your conscious and subconsciousness. You are a walking miracle. Please fill your cup with the divine love for yourself, and only then can others drink from it and share it. So this is the thing going on with relationship at the moment, love and lust. So I know there's nothing wrong with either. There's nothing wrong with lust even. It's still a divine creation. But the two need to come together. Love and lust need to come together. Because if there is just lust, then it is again another sign of an unfulfilled heart, and you may be trying to obtain your love from another, and that person will feel it, and they'll start to go cold to you, and they'll start to go back off. nothing wrong with this, nothing wrong with any of this that is going on at the moment. It's just we are releasing old programs. Some of the lovely men out there as well, you may be feeling kind of like the power rift as well at the moment, the power ripple. And because you've been in kind of like this power for so long, to relinquish that power, it is going to be, you may be feeling a little bit stubborn around it. You maybe feel unwilling or unyielding to kind of to release that power ratio. However, if you don't release that power ratio and come down to your female respective, she's just going to leave, because she's loving herself. When we heal as women, when we love ourselves enough, we will just take ourselves out of the picture because we know our worth and we just generate love for ourselves. We don't need anything else. And it could be the same with women as well, that if in your relationship you feel that you're up there, really look at your power constructs at the moment in relationships. And it should be a little bit like that, kind of like continuously, not like that continuously, not like that continuously, a little bit like that, so you kind of like reach a common ground. Otherwise your marriage or relationship is just going to go like that. And you know what, we need love on this planet at the moment, because love raises our vibration. When you are in love, nothing else matters. You know, it could be wars out there or whatever, and it's kind of like, I don't care, I'm in love. You know, you don't even want to eat when you're in love because it doesn't matter. So it's kind of like the love out there is important. Work on it, please find it, generate it, nurture it, and in turn you're nurturing and loving yourselves. So I will leave this one with you, love and lust. So have a great day. Take care all. Bye.